Well, we got to go watch the tape first. It was a great, energetic practice, extremely competitive, back and forth, and that's what you really want. It's a sign of it's a sign of a good team when it goes back and forth. You don't want it, definitely don't want it one-sided. And so, without me going back and watching the tape, there was good plays on both sides, defensively and offensively, and it was fun to watch.
D. Alford and Richie Grant looked like two guys in particular who kind of like you could feel almost their aggressiveness from the secondary. Did you see that as well? And what have you seen from those two guys in particular?
Yeah, no, they've played really well. D is a high-level communicator. We stress the importance of communicating on defense, and he does an excellent job of communicating with his safeties, his linebackers, his defensive front, and Richie's coming along as well. Both guys, everybody needs to improve, but those guys are right where they need to be, and hopefully peaking at the right moment as we hit the season.
As a DC, what was your just thoughts of the Charlie Warner catch?
I was like, was he out of bounds? I was on the far side. Of course, that's my first. Wait, hold up. Was he out of bounds? So I'm going to have to go check the film just to make sure. But, hey, I'm going to want him making those catches on September 8th and beyond. And so great job by Kirk, great job by the protection and him throwing up. Jesse was in great position. I'm hoping I watch the tape that there was a foot right on the white paint and he's out of bounds.
Is it just sometimes it's a good football play and there's only so much it can do to guard against it?
Oh, for sure. That happens all the time. If we're right there, it's a competitive play, and our offense makes the plays, or as we get into the season, our competitors make the play. We got to get back up next play, and we feel like we're going to make the next one. We can't just get down in the dumps and ride the emotional roller coaster. So that was a heck of a catch and a heck of a throw by Kirk.
Hey, Coach, the defense looked really, really good in the joint practices with Miami and the game as well. But now moving forward, are there some areas that you think can be improved?
Oh, yeah. There's lots of areas to improve. But, no, I was extremely pleased, and I think our whole staff was extremely pleased with the way we operated in those practices in Miami. The guys played really hard in the game, in the preseason game, but we still left some plays out there. We had one turnover. We felt like we could have had a few more. I was really pleased with the tackling in the game. Usually that first game, guys haven't tackled in over a year. It can be really sloppy, and I didn't feel that after that game. So still tons of improvement at all three levels, and we'll continue to work to get there.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the missed tackling and how are you all able to teach it going from third to the live tackling? And I guess y'all graded out pretty good.
We did overall. It could always get better. It wasn't excellent, but overall for a first preseason game, I believe, I don't have the totals in front of me, but I believe it was about 9 missed tackles, and then the next defender was right there, so there wasn't a lot of loose yards, which we were really pleased with. But now we got to do it again on Saturday and continue that. But it is difficult, but we have things that we do in practice. We always like to finish with great body leverage. We like to finish with proper, I call shoot awareness for our defense, so they know where they can shoot on the tackler and know if they miss it, it's going to go back to the other defender. And so we're constantly talking about that in defensive meetings and out in practice. And I think that really showed up in the practices last week in Miami and then also in the game.
Speaking of going back and watching the film, when you go back and you look at that preseason game against Miami, what do you feel like you learned about this defensive line?
About the defensive line, I think they're guys that still need improvement, but I felt some pressure. I felt a lot of pressure on the quarterback. It didn't show up in the sack numbers. The quarterback did release the ball a little early when we got an interception. That was nice to see on the great rush by Zach and by Braylon. But I saw a defensive line that's right where they need to be, but we still have a ways to go. I loved how they worked together. There wasn't a lot of busts in our pass rush. We played the run extremely well. But again, we still got some work ahead of us, and those guys know that.
How is Cyclone? Okay.
You made the big splash play by kind of undercutting and making the pick in the game, but I'm sure after being off the field for a couple of years, as a coach, you're looking at maybe the small details of what he's doing as much as the splash plays. How have you evaluated his plays?
You're talking about Kevin King?
Yeah.
Yes. A big-time play by him, and it all got set up first by the rush with the question I just answered that was awesome by Zach, awesome by Braylon Trice. And then Kevin King got to cash in with the glory play. But that's how it usually works. It's the rush and it's the coverage. And then the next time it's going to be, hey, we have extremely good coverage. The quarterback's going to hold the ball and we're going to get a sack. And whoever gets the sack is going to get all the credit. But it all works together. First of all, kudos to our performance team for Kevin King. He's been out of football. It's his history of injuries since he's entered the league is well documented. And some guys just they go down that path, and hopefully they get beyond that and can move forward. And that's what we're hoping for Kevin. And right now, our performance team has done an excellent job of getting him up to speed and getting him ready to go play in his first game in 2 years. But still, there's a lot of improvement that he needs to go. Still needs to get in better shape. Still needs to get dialed on the calls so he can do it again this Saturday.
How has Tyquan Graham been performing? And looks kind of crowded up there with the tackles and so forth.
Yeah, I like that. We like a bunch of big guys up front. I like that word, crowded. Let's keep that defensive line crowded. TQ. He's one of those big bodies up front. He's tough. He's physical. He's also made his share of plays in practice. He knows the defense. Still room for improvement, leverage-wise, some pass rush. But he's right where he needs to be and just continue to improve. And, I feel like TQ is just gaining confidence by the day.
Jimmy, with regards to the injuries that happened in that game with Braylon and DeMarco, first of all, any thoughts you have on that? But also, as a coach, how soon do you kind of get in the mode of okay, well, what do I have to do? Well, how can we shift pieces around? How can we kind of, maybe refigure things that we didn't think were necessarily going to be the case, a week ago or so?
Yeah, well, first of all, feel really bad for both those guys. Losing two brothers there, one for a little bit, maybe one for longer, and so we got to put our arms around them and make sure we support those guys. These guys are professionals. They know that this is part of this game. It's a physical, violent game, and there's going to be more. Sad to say, there's going to be more injuries to come. That's just part of this deal, and that's part of this league. But to answer your question, the moves that we have to make when injuries happen, those are well thought of way before. And any move that happens even here moving forward, if we have an injury this Saturday, which I hope we do not, knock on wood, those moves and those chess pieces are already being talked about, evaluated. If this happens, we're going to go here, here, here. And so this isn't something where it's like knee-jerk reaction. Something happens, oh, my God, what are we doing? No, this is well thought out, and it starts with, Terry, obviously Ryan Pace and Kyle Smith and Raheem, and we're ready for the next move.
Going off that point a little bit, do you like the preseason? Like Raheem was like, I don't like them. Obviously, for various reasons, and players aren't really playing, and you don't really know your team.
Yeah.
Week 4. I mean, do you see a benefit in it, or would you rather more joint practices?
Right. I do see a benefit in it. I definitely harbor the same feelings Raheem has. For guys that have played a lot of football, I don't think it's probably necessary. But I think for the young guys, for the rookies, second year, maybe third year players that maybe haven't touched the field, they have only been on practice squad, I do think there is a benefit to get them out there under the lights and see how they perform when live bullets are flying around. Because you really never know. It's one thing to be in the off season when we just have helmets on and no pads to evaluate those guys moving around, but you want to know how these guys are going to react, both offensive, defensively, and special teams when the helmet's on, shoulder pads are going, now you can get hit, now you have to go make a tackle, now you have to go return that ball in the kick game. What's it going to look like? And so I do think there is a value in it.
The defensive line is a critical component of your scheme. How are you approaching the rotation with current depth, and are you satisfied with the progress of the young rookies?
Yes, I am very satisfied with the progress of the young rookies, and we're doing some even more things with them this week. They've almost passed a bar, so to speak, and so now we're kind of opening it up and letting them do a little bit more. But still, it's a continuous effort, and Jay Rogers and Jaquez Smith and Dave Huxtable and our coaching staff has done an excellent job with those front guys of getting them ready, and then for those young guys to also have vets in the room, like a Grady Jarrett, like a David Onyemata, to look to of how it's supposed to be done, how you're supposed to shed and get off blocks, how you're supposed to transition into a pass rush on a play-action pass. That is valuable.
I want to ask you specifically about Zach Harrison because he's a a guy who was playing on the edge last year and is kind of transitioning, seems to be, to play more interior, adding the weight that he did. Do you still see him as having the versatility to kind of play on that edge, potentially if needed, or do you want him focused kind of on a more specific role inside?
No, and I think this really opens it up for the whole defense. We love guys, kind of goes to your question before, we love guys that can play multiple positions, are able to handle that mentally, and also have the physical makeup to be able to do different things in our defense. And Zach is definitely one of those guys that can play inside, he can play outside, and we're working through those things in practice. And he's able to understand those calls, and now it's just continue to improve his technique. Understanding what we want out of him, out of all those positions. But Zach is one of many players that we have on our defense that can do multiple things.
Coach, D'Angelo Malone, he started as outside, they tried to do inside last year, he's back out. What could be his ceiling for you guys?
Yeah, it'll be interesting how it goes. I think he played an excellent game against Miami. He played really well on defense. He led our team in special teams tackles. He was a force last Saturday, and so I think it's a really good starting point for him. Today looked like he practiced well today, and so now he's just got to continue to improve his game out there on the edge on defense, and continue to do what he needs to do for Marquise in special teams.
The secondary has been a focus area for the Falcons. What improvements have you seen from the group, and how do you feel about their communication and coverage skills so far?
No, the communication's been awesome. It starts with our leader back there, Jesse Bates. He really gets that thing running. He makes sure everybody is giving him visual communication and also answering back verbally. And that's what you have to do. You have to try to get ahead of the problems before they happen. And it's really cool to watch, obviously, Jesse communicating, but you see some of the younger guys starting to communicate as well. And getting ahead of the problem. When you get ahead of the problem, then we can go out there and make plays and play fast.